Plastic pollution is an accumulation of plastic objects that used by the human, and also it can affect like the wildlife and also for the human life. The thing that consists of plastic that's really hard to decompose, so it's gonna be take like more than 100 years. So can you imagine if we still using plastic every single day, maybe in 20 or 30 years later, it's gonna be more plastic than human.
So Indonesia as a whole produces around 3 million tons of plastic a year, and about half of that goes into the sea. As you can imagine, that's a lot of plastic going into the sea.
The most plastic in this village, that is in the traditional market.
For example, just like 1K of food, snacks, they cover it by plastic, each one. And then they sell it 100 of them. So all of them is just plastic. And the canteen also, like if you want to drink iced tea or some stuff like that, so you bring the plastic bag and the straw, some stuff like that. It's so clear.
So there's two main things that people do with their trash here: either burn it or throw it in the sea. This is in Tianyar itself because there's no facilities that currently people can take their plastic to.
Kalau di rumah saya lakukan sampah plastik, saya taruh di keranjang sampah. Lalu saya bawa ke kebun, lalu saya bakar sampah semua. Ya kalau di pantai saya selaku nelayan, kalau mau mancing ikan itu sangat terganggu sama namanya plastik itu. Karena pancingnya bisa nyangkut, dan kemudian kalau plastik itu dimakan oleh ikan, seperti paus, sudah lumba-lumba itu, ikannya bisa mati dia. Itu yang sangat merugikan sampah plastik kalau di desa, di Tianyar khususnya. Kalau untuk ke pasar, kalau bawa barang sebelum ada plastik, saya pakai keranjang gitu. Tempat menaruh barang-barang saya ke pasar. Kalau untuk bungkus makanan, saya pakai daun. Ada daun pisang, ada daun waru namanya. Itu yang dipakai di desa ini, di Tianyar.
The main problem with local people and their education about plastic is that they're stuck in an old-fashioned mindset. For them, it's no problem to throw it over their shoulder because, of course, it disintegrates. But the problem now is that plastic doesn't do that, and many of the older people don't really understand this and can't really see the issue with throwing the plastic away.
The people in Tianyar, they really need the plastic in their daily life. I feel that like they feel so addicted with the plastic. So every single activity that they do, they need the plastic.
So I think that local people in the village don't really understand the problems with plastic. They have a lot of other things to worry about. Tianyar generally is a very poor area, and understandably plastic isn't their priority. Putting food on a table for your family is the priority, so plastic comes down quite low on the agenda, and as a result a lot of people, especially the older ones, just don't really care about it. At first it's very easy to be angry and frustrated with people like this, but if you take the time to consider their situation, it does make you sympathize with them a little bit, because they don't have infrastructure like many Western people do to deal with it, and you have to understand this.
Do you have grandparents?
Yes.
Yeah, do they use plastic?
Yes, of course they use plastic.
They use plastic?
But I try to talk with them, but they doesn't care about it.
So the mindset people have with plastic pollution is definitely a generational problem, and that's because the younger generation are now taught about the issues associated with plastic, and especially here in Tianyar they're much more conscious about it.
When I talk with them, like the person who like older than me, they don't want to do what I talking to them, because they feel like they more experienced than me. When I try to explain about what the plastic dangers and everything, they still like, I don't care.
The problem is, I think, that when they can learn all they want about plastic recycling and being responsible with their plastic, not throwing it away, saying no to plastic, but when they go home and their parents aren't acting the same way, then it's creating sort of contradiction in their learning. And so I think a lot of what we teach them isn't really, is maybe going in one ear and out the other.
Educating the older people is very, very difficult. That's because some of them are over 60, over 70, and they don't want a load of young people coming there and telling them what to do. I think that the issue we should be focusing on is educating the younger people here and making them a more environmentally minded generation, rather than focusing on the old people, because in my experience that's too difficult.
Maybe, we don't know, like maybe in 20 years or 25 years it's gonna be the ocean just full of plastic and you can't swim anymore, some stuff like that, because they didn't see it now. So it's okay then, I can just do it, some stuff like that. They don't see it, like the effect, like it's gonna be happening in the future.
I think most of the kids, they using the internet to access the information, so there's a lot of like advertisement that campaigns about how dangerous is plastic pollution for environment. So it's really easy to access the information about the plastic pollution or plastic waste. So kids will know more than the parents.
Apa bahaya plastik? Baru-baru ini kami hanya dengar-dengar saja dari televisi, dari wacana, tapi belum ada sosialisasi untuk dampak plastik yang paling buruk itu apa, belum ada di desa, khususnya di desa Tianyo.
The younger generations generally definitely perceive plastic to be a problem, and that's really good news for the future, because eventually there are going to be people who are going to be deciding legislation and things like that.
But the things that we need now, like the leader or the person, can be in the village or in the community, the small community, like to start it, say no to plastic, not just say, but like in action.
Change is definitely happening in the village. I think people are generally, they're slowly getting onto the fact that it is a problem. So I think recently in Bali, they've actually banned single-use plastic or plastic bags, things like that, from being imported. This is slowly coming into effect. In an area like this, it hasn't really had much impact, but hopefully in the future it will.
As this generation progresses, we hope that these people will become important people in the village who can set important examples for other people, and in time everyone here will start to care much more for the environment.
I definitely have hope for the future, because the kids are so keen to learn about things like this. There's definitely an interest, and if there's an interest, then yeah, we can definitely do something about it.
So the other day I saw something that was really interesting, and it was that there was an old guy who was carrying his plastic along the beach from his house in a wheelbarrow, and I saw him walking down the beach and literally just dump it on the shore, just into the waves. And of course it was disappointing to see, but I just waited there for a few minutes and was watching. And just after he left, a couple of young kids came and picked the plastic up after him. I was so happy to see that. It shows that there really is a change between the mindset of the generations. Yeah, I thought that was a nice, that made my day.